Come on in. Good morning and welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. Thanks so much for tuning in, and for all of you moms out there, happy Mother's Day. My name is Katie O'Neill. I'm coming to you live from Transwest Truck Trailer RV here in sunny Fredrick, Colorado. We are so happy. I guess I could take my glasses off. We're so happy to see you today. So today we're going to take a look at this 2024 Newmar 4065 Superstar. Absolutely one of my favorite products. I happen to own a 2022 myself, but I wanted to start not only from the inside out as usual, but also from the front today, because today we're going to cover some of the nuances and changes in this chassis. I've previously done a video on this vehicle, so if you're looking for a little more information on it, of course you can tune into that video as well. But today I wanted just to cover some of the changes that we have for the 2024 model. We've gone from the M2 106 to the M2 106 Plus chassis. A lot of things are the same, but there are some really cool differences as well. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and put the shade up so we can kind of see how that looks. I get a lot of questions from people as to whether or not the shade or the shade's there. So I think it's important just to see how that works. It's very seamless. Now today we are looking at the Glacier Glazed Maple matte finish cabinets. So beautiful finish. One of the things that's so nice about this finish, of course, is how light and bright it makes the interior of this coach. But as you can see, the skylight here in the front of this coach makes for a huge difference in the amount of light coming in to the cab of the Superstar, because of course the M2 106 chassis is going to be a chassis that is a semi-truck based medium duty chassis. So you don't have that gigantic window that you would normally see in the front of a Class A. So this overhead skylight makes a big difference. Another difference you'll note here is this big black rainbow that we have that goes all around the cab of this vehicle. One of the things that separates Newmar from the other Super C manufacturers is the fact that we have a floating air ride cab. So this air ride cab allows you to have a very seamless amount of buoyancy going down the road in the cab of the vehicle. If you hit a bump in the rear, this is going to allow your coach to flex from the chassis to the house. So it's almost as if this is the head of the vehicle, and then this portion here is the neck, and then the rest of the vehicle is the body. So that's going to be one of the main attributes that changes the way that this coach drives. Now, one of the things that it changes for those of you who are coming in and out is it gives you a clear egress into the front of the cab without a step. Now, there's still a step down, as you can see up here, but there is no step into the cab of the coach. Another thing I wanted to cover today, though, is this is about as far around as I can turn this chair. So I've spoken to a number of people where I've said, oh, don't worry, you could just flip these chairs around. As you can see, this is the normal operation where you can turn it all the way around to face the inside. This stops about here, and it's because of the steering wheel. I spent about 25 minutes trying to figure out if I could get around this and get it to be any more forward facing. I cannot. So if that's an important feature to you, of course here at Transwest we want to make sure that you don't have any surprises during your pickup or your delivery. This is definitely something, if it's important to you, that will not function facing that television as well. I mean, I could certainly still see it, but I'm going to be angled more towards the front of the coach. Now let's talk a little bit about this. So in the past here we've had the same compartment, but as you can see there's a nice cover here. This is still where you would keep your Cobra system, but below this where you would put your walkie-talkie, you'll note that we have the Detroit Assurance Package. So this is a new feature for our Super Cs. Now initially Wabco did a distance-based cruise control for aftermarket companies. Renegade used them, for instance, in their Veronas or the Verona LEs. But what happened is the Daimler manufacturer went ahead and contracted with Wabco to make an interface that's actually integrated here into this camera-mounted system. So now you have an integrated assistance-based cruise control. So you can not only set your cruise control to go to a certain speed, but also to follow the vehicle in front of you at a certain distance. Another feature that changed when we went to the Detroit system is that we've got integrated lane tracking package as well. So now we have, for all intents and purposes, kind of what you would expect from Mobileye integrated into your assurance package. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my seat back. and wiggle back into spot. Now, oh gosh, okay. So one thing I don't cover often is the controls for the seat. So I have this turned around for you today so you can see some of the things that you can control. So right here you'll see we have our air ride seats where they go, oops, that's not that, it's this one. Up and down is right here on the side of the seat. This is a nice improvement over some of the other manufacturers in terms of how they function. It's very easy to operate and to access. Another feature that changed for 2024 is the amount of tilt that you have going into this cab. They did a little bit, if you can see over here, Jody, there's a little bit of a cutaway. That's so that you've got about 4 inches better clearance for the tilt. So you taller drivers, of course we're not talking about me, but you taller drivers will be able to slide your chair back a little bit more, get a little more tilt out of that. Another thing that's changed is instead of having the footstep for the push to release for adjusting your steering column, there's a little toggle down here that locks into place, and this is telescopic, so you can go up and down as well as in and out. And as you can see, you get quite a bit of flexibility. So if you are a taller person, or if you just want to get in and out easily, very easy to set, and then after you have it where you like, just lock it into place. So another change on this coach, as you can see, we've got our Detroit Assurance pops up here with both the symbol for our lane tracking package and for our Mobileye. And then same thing here, you always want to wait for this little orange engine light to turn off before you turn your engine over. Of course, it's pretty temperate here today, not cold, so it won't take as long. But of course, if you don't wait for that to turn off, what ends up happening is you're actually doing what we would consider a cold start on your engine. And that cold start can have a fault code that you actually have to pay to get reset, and there's nothing wrong with the coach. So wait for that little engine guy to turn off. When you turn on your engine, this is about how everything should look. As you can see, we've got a nice LED display in the center now, as well as these steering wheel controls. So this is a big new feature for the 2024 chassis. Now when I go over here, we're to start off at home. We can see our trip mileage per gallon. We can see our average mileage per gallon, and we can see we have our steering setting here, also our driving distance. And then here we can see our tire pressure monitoring system. So this is a new feature integrated into the chassis itself. We have a tire pressure monitoring system. And then as well, I can also, starting in 2024, do a mobile evaluation where I can plug in, there's a little plug down there, or I can do it via my phone. I can actually see what I need to have done for my coach. And then here we've got our dash brightness, our alarm clock, so all of your settings here. So this is a very, very nice new feature for your dash. Now you'll notice here I'm in neutral. Let me go ahead and put my foot on the brake. I can put my coach into drive. So now you can see I'm in first gear. I can also put my coach into reverse. And we're still operating with that same Allison transmission, but now we are stock controlled. Oops, there it goes. And when I go into reverse here, of course, it's going to bring up my rear view camera. Now we do have the 360 camera option on this coach, so you can even see I have the television bay open out here. You can see the cracks in the pavement around the coach, so a very good camera system. And then again, that's just by putting the coach in reverse that will pop up that rear view camera. And also if you turn your turn signal on, you're going to have your right and left display that'll pop up automatically. So like I said, I wanted to spend a little more time going over this chassis. Another thing that's very interesting about this, so of course we changed over from into the Nav and Go navigation system a few years back, but it's really important to understand this mapping system not only has the dimensions of your coach, the weight, the height, the width, all of those things that you need to make sure you're not going to run into a bridge, or you don't want to end up on YouTube, right? But also it has a free subscription to not only traffic, but also weather. But you will need to sync that to your Bluetooth system. Now you can Bluetooth your phone into this. You can Bluetooth your, again, your complimentary 3 years of mapping and weather as well. So as you can see, the display here is a really nice display. We do have a mono display here as opposed to the dual. I was really hoping we would see in 2024 something like that Voyager system that you'll see maybe on the P4 Cascadia chassis by Freightliner. But this M2 106 Plus chassis has a singular display, and that leads me into the point where I was going to say, if you don't need to have a Cobra installed here, a walkie-talkie, we can certainly install a Voyager system into this coach where you've got a dedicated rear camera system for you going down the road. That's something I think is really nice. Now, there's a very substantial improvement into these overhead compartments. Just speaking from experience, this is just a nicer amount of space. It's soft lined, so I could put my sunglasses in there. And then, of course, we still have the same issue with Freightliner not giving me a place to do my lip gloss, because now I've got a big gray square thing, and then I've got this. So you will need to get a mirror for that. One of the things I wanted to bring up to you, I get a lot of calls where, oh my gosh, my coach is doing something. This is just showing you what that exhaust system looks like and what's going on with that. So if you do see this icon pop up on your dash, there's information up here in the visor above your driving system. We still have the silly horn and the air horn. And then as you can see here, now we have a better integrated windshield wiper control. So let's go ahead and do windshield wipers today. I don't know if I've ever shown you this, but the water comes out of the wiper blade. So it really covers the entire aspect of the coach, which is really nice, or aspect of the windshield, which is really nice. And then there's different settings. You can put it on intermediate, medium, and so this is on and off every once in a while, and then you can put it on high, or, you know, it's pouring down rain. So all of those are there, as well as your turn signals. Here we have our house boost and our chassis boost. You would use this if, for instance, your chassis batteries were dead. You could use your boost to turn your engine over. Conversely, if your house batteries are dead, you could use the boost to start your generator. As you can see, they've taken all of these buttons and kind of slid everything over to the left, but a lot of these functions are still the same thing. You do have a new lane departure warning system, so you can turn that off. It will go back on automatically, but you can turn it off and then re-engage it if you don't want to have that on, for instance, in the mountains. But as you know, as this has always been, you've got a lot of the same controls here in the back. We do have a suspension dump. This is, of course, going to be very useful for you if you want to load your trailer and your coach is running. You could drop that airbag down, and your generator start is still up here in the front as well. But this is really the big deal, having your dash controls on your steering wheel now, where you can hang up your phone, answer your phone, change, you know, your volume settings, change your radio stations, all of those things. So very nice upgrade to what would be, in my opinion, something that most people are more accustomed to in their high-end cars. Of course, this is a very high-end Super C. We'd expect nothing less. Also, you'll see an A here for automatic headlights. As somebody who likes to leave headlights on and kill batteries, that's a great feature. Your power mirrors are still the same. They're still heated, just a little bit of a different display. Also power windows and power door locks. Very similar to what you've seen in the past. Maybe a nicer wood finish in this dash. And then you've got your auxiliary plugs down here still, so if you do have a dictaphone and you want to plug it in the old-fashioned way, there you go. You've got an auxiliary port. I don't know what you would use that for, honestly, but I don't know. Maybe you're doing karaoke while you're driving with a family. Who knows? I mean, it could be anything, right? So that's going to kind of cover a majority of what we should talk about that you can see on this coach. One of the things that we'll talk about that you can't see is that this coach is now built in a much more modular position, where you can plug and play different components in a much easier fashion for the technicians. So things are placed in coaches from 2024 moving forward into places that are more reasonable for the execution of that particular model. So for instance, if you have a port that you need for solar, this coach is prepped for solar. It doesn't have solar panels on it. I would install those here at our dealership. We have 190 watt panels. For 3 of them, I can have 570 watts of solar for just about the same price as what you would get for Newmar for 440 watts of solar. But anyway, so if you want to plug a panel in, change where an air conditioner module is, whatever it is on this coach, that's one of the things that Freightliner did, not just for Super Cs, but for the entire trucking industry, was to give you more of a plug and play where you could change where components go so they would make better sense for your product. And of course, we all know Parts for coaches are not nearly as expensive as mechanics installing parts. So the more time we can save for you on labor, the lesser expensive your execution of ownership is going to be. So that's one of the big changes for the M2 106 Plus chassis, in addition to some of these more integrated features into your dash. Now I want to just kind of point out above the cab here, these are great places for storage. But JBL has done a great job in really enhancing the sound system in this coach. It's much better than mine is in 2022. But also this storage that you see here is so useful. If you have a bunch of people with you, of course this is a bunk model, as you find their crap laying all over the coach, you can find a cubby. Like I'll tell Stella all the time, she's like, Mom, I can't find one of my AirPods. And I'm like, well, it's because I put it in your cubby. Because you left it outside on the ground next to the fireplace, you know, I mean, so anyway, this is just great storage, really great way to assign things. And if you don't have kids traveling with you and this is just for you and potentially your wife, you can use these cubbies for things like burning books or for your Recover system. So I wanted to bring this up. Recover is a system that we install here. We actually had a few coaches stolen from our property a number of years back, and our insurance company said, hey, we'll give you a better premium if you have an anti-theft device in your coach. This anti-theft device is only visible to the person who owns the package. This is available through our finance department, but it's great because you can tell your insurance carrier that if your coach ends up missing, you'll actually receive a text message when it starts to move on your phone, allowing you to know that your coach is on the move. The other thing that you can do with this is you could actually put this in your boyfriend's backpack and make sure, no, I'm just kidding, don't do that. No, but what you can do with this is you can leave this in your coach, and if you want to make sure that your coach is being serviced and that it's being, you know, moved around a lot at a reasonable point of time, or that, you know, if your friend is letting you park it at their house, it's not going joyriding over the weekend, so you can actually log in and see the location of your vehicle on a day-to-day basis with your phone app. It comes in 3-year stints. It's pretty inexpensive. We don't cover pricing on this platform because of the number of places that we're on. Sometimes it'll cause our videos to get dropped, but if you're interested in Recover, we can carry this product not only for your coach, but you could put a whole entire package together, put them in your personal vehicles. If you've got, you know, a Honda Accord or a Toyota pickup truck that's more apt to be stolen, this is a great way to have what is low jack, but in a much more contemporary execution of that product. So another cubby to open, we talked about it briefly, but dare to listen, JBL is greatly improved our sound system this year. And then to the right here, you'll see what is owner support. So that's a picture of Darian Todd. You can call Darian Todd on this 800 number. If she's not available, it'll go to somebody else. You can also email us at supercservice@newmarcorp.com, and somebody will get back to you. They're very, very useful. You're also going to have Freightliner, their 800 number, to help you with any kind of chassis support you need. And of course, we talk about the fact that when you do have a Freightliner chassis, you have a lot more portals for service for your engine. So it's a great feature to be able to call that 800 number, start a case if you've got something. For instance, you've cold started, your check engine light comes on and you need to get that reset. You can go ahead and call that number, figure out where your closest service center is and get that taken care of. So these are all ways that Newmar supports their clients. Another way that Newmar supports their clients, though, Newmar is really good about providing service for you after the fact. Jody, let's trade places. I'm going to go to the back. You go to the front. I do get a lot of questions about like how deep this little section is right here, what I walk through here. So Jody, I know he's tremoring right now. I've got my measuring tape out. But if I was to say it's about 11.5 to 12 inches. I'd go ahead, let's just go with 11 just to be pessimistic. Between these openings here, that's about 12. But that's just for information for those of you who are wondering about walking space with the coach closed. But so back to service. So there's not a lot of manufacturers that are really willing to be face-to-face with their clients and take accountability for the quality of their product. Newmar is not afraid. So of course, the tagline is going to be, when you know the difference, you buy a Newmar. It's 100% accurate. I can't speak highly enough of the manufacturer, but they have 54 service bays that are divided into 4 sections with a lead service tech at each bay. They have they have 60 parking spots outside waiting for you to camp that have 50 and 30 amps, so you can plug in and spend the night, spend the week, get your coach fixed, change out your couches, take out your theater seats, put in a hide-a-bed, whatever it is that you'd like to do. They are a customer-facing manufacturer. That is such an important feature to those of you that are out there in the market. This is a manufacturer that's not going to park you, out back at Camping World or at Lazy Days and have you wait for 6 months for something to get fixed. You can literally take your coach here to Transwest, where we have both chassis and house on site, which is only 3 dealerships do that in the country. But our Transwest organization has chassis and house on site. Or you can go to the mothership. You can go to Newmar, and they just do a fantastic job. They have puppy rooms for little dogs, puppy rooms for big dogs. They have comfortable lounge areas. They have great snacks. The town is as cute as a button. The pastries are amazing. They have the best donut shop there ever was. So I got to say, I've got to hand it to Newmar. In terms of customer support, this is a manufacturer you want to buy from. You want to buy from Newmar, but you also want to buy from Transwest. Transwest has a gentleman by the name of Bill. Bill is paid full-time to answer the phone and to get my customers back on the road without having to wait for Darian to return an email or without having to talk to Freightliner. You can send Bill Habercorn a text picture of whatever it is that you're having go on with your coach. And a lot of times it's ESTO, equipment smarter than operator. He can help get you back on the road, help you troubleshoot, help you keep on the road and camping, enjoying yourself, not being frustrated. And that service is something that you get when you buy from any of our 3 facilities here in Colorado. Again, just a fantastic thing to have not only the Newmar customer support, but the Transwest customer support. And if you buy your coach from me, I happen to have a Newmar, so I'm pretty handy when it comes to troubleshooting. And I really enjoy being a part of your camping experiences in your lives after the sale, so that if you have a problem or a question, there's a solution waiting for you very easily. So as you can see here, I've got the walking area situated so that we can kind of see what we have. Oh, let me grab my tape measure. Again, I wanted just to cover how much room you have. We're parking a sold unit, so let me close that door. But yeah, so plenty of walking space. And I wanted to start, I always start my videos from the inside out, so no change there. But I wanted to start with the coach closed today because I think that this is, something that needs to be mentioned. This is a really nice configuration. If you've had a travel trailer or a fifth wheel, this is going to be less space than you're used to in your fifth wheel. But I'll promise you one thing, being able to get out of your seat, walk down the hallway, get to your kitchen, have full access to your refrigerator and to your freezer and to your pantry and to your microwave, and most importantly, to your bathroom, is really fantastic. So this is one of the biggest game changers here. For those of you that have a big dog, if you need a place for the puppy to hang out, between this cabinet and the wall, it's about 17 inches of space here in the center going into this bathroom. So as you can see, this is a really nice amount of space. And with the step cover covered, you've got a great place for your puppy bed or whatever it is while you're going down the road, so everyone, even your fine furry friends, can be comfortable while you're driving. Now, in the center here, we have all of our controls, and as I mentioned, we do not have the solar package on this coach, but we would be happy to install it for you. If you didn't see it when we were outside, I did have our awnings deployed. They're back in now. It's a little gusty today. We're expecting an afternoon storm, go Colorado. But all of that being said, awning controls right here, inverter, you've got your Razor antenna that's just telling you how many radio stations you have, your power control here. This is your HWH hydraulic leveling system. I actually love this placement. Now keep in mind, this coach will automatically dump your rear airbags before it starts leveling, so you don't hyperextend those front jacks. So no extra manual or no extra interface needed with that. But if I push this out button, I can do both sides simultaneously. And where does that matter? I mean, I gotta tell you, dude, if we're in a hurry, or we're just trying to get done, wrapped up, and maybe there's a tornado coming, or maybe there's a hailstorm on the horizon, and we just want to get on the road, we can get out of here in like 15 minutes in this coach very, very easily. So This coach goes in and out very quickly. So kind of fun to show you the amount of space that you gain in this coach. And then I also just wanted to show you, in terms of your theater seats, these go really flat. So very comfortable. And they have USB ports right here in the center to charge them. And then as you can see throughout the coach, one of the things that's so nice isn't just your beautiful wallpaper, or the fact that this has got 3-zone heated floors, right? So those are nice features. Or the new tile that comes in the 2024 upgraded interior. But these KIB switches are so handy because you can really just push a button and turn everything on, whether it be your ceiling lights, your seating lights, you know, all of these things without having to have a switch or a toggle that you're looking for, because they're all labeled. And even here you can put your TV up with just the touch of a button. As you can see, that'll rise here. On either side of that television, you will note that there are 110 outlets and USB ports, so very good connectivity for anyone who's working from their coach. So that KIB switch though, just with its light glow, you can turn these off, by the way. So you can hit this little backlighting button and dim it so that they're really dim, or just turn them off altogether. But for instance, if you've got littles that are camping with you, you might want to turn it way down, but make it so they can still see. This coach does not have a bed situation in the theater seats because it's got bunks. But if you did have another, you know, maybe the parents are with you camping, there's a lot of floor space here. As you can see, you could very easily put another queen size bed in this area. This is a ton of room. So in 2024, we also changed our motif. You can see our ceilings are a little bit different. Now this still does drop down. It's hiding, of course, all of your ducted air conditioners and your returns. So all of that's hidden here underneath this. I always encourage people to go to the factory for their first 1-year service so they can get to know the parts department, all of the things that you can get on Newmar, which is Newmar's version of a parts website that interacts with not only the dealerships but also with the client-facing segment. So you could get filters and do some of those things yourself if you'd like to kind of save on service. But so we've got this beautiful new ceiling. We also have all new cabinetry. Our slide covers now have this beautiful inlaid chrome all the way down. Initially they had this really cool crosshatch, but it was just going to be a Dickens to clean. Newmar, of course, is very smart about how they do things. Even their lambrequins are designed to be very, very well integrated into the coach, very, very low maintenance. And as you'll see, even over here, they've got a little bit of a pivot, a tilt in, so that they don't impact your theater seating. I mean, so like I said, Newmar is very conscientious about how these coaches are built, and they have such a very nice, hefty girth to these cabinets. Oh, if you didn't see that, 2 HDMI cords. You're wired for your satellite here as well. You've got your your USB port, your sound bar up above, and then some more storage. But I think what's most important to note about this coach is it just feels so solid when you're opening and closing those ports. Also a nice feature, this coach has the extendable dinette. I did bring one of the chairs out for us to take a look at. So we'll put that out. I'm not going to put the inserts in today, but I do want to just show you how much seating room you would have here. Because of course, with a king size bed and 2 bunks, if you have a family of 4 that wants to be able to sit around here and have really, you know, nice meals with a ton of space here at the table, this is a really comfortable area. But not only that, if you're a couple that's working and you're using that bunk area not for kids, but for storage, and you've got 2 working adults on the road, this coach is really well set up where you could have one person has this side, one person has this side. This is a very, very comfortable chair. And then there's just a little magnet that holds this table leg in place. You put this back and you can head down the road to your next chapter of your adventure. So very, very cool feature of this coach, having that extended dinette, this theater seating group. Now, I have already mentioned this before, bunks are not just for kids. So this ladder is removable, so it's nice. But one of the reasons it's removable is because you may not need this at all. You may want to use simply what's underneath here, which is this really nice soft touch material to keep bins in, to keep, you know, God, when you go camping, I mean, how many boxes of water, you know, how many hamburger buns, packages of firecrackers, you know, whatever it is that you're using on, you know, your 4th of July trip or whatever it might be, could you fit in this area? And then if you have a dog, you could leave this mat in place. Or again, look at this amount of space that you have here. This is 72 by 30 inches. You could definitely fit a few crates here. You could definitely fit a few dog beds here. Just a great area for any of your fine furry friends. Also, great place for not only, you know, you could roll up your t-shirts, your underwear, your shorts if you've got the kids with you, but you could also keep all your dog dishes, your leashes, you know, all of those things underneath. One of the things we really love about our bunk model is this little closet here. This is where we keep our hiking shoes stacked up there in the back. And then here's where we keep all of our flashlights, our umbrellas, and then raincoats, all of those things here in the center of the coach so we don't have to go all the way back to the rear closet. Another great aspect of this coach is central vac. So, I mean, after spending 3 weeks in San Diego in the sand, I've got to tell you, that is definitely one of the most underrated things that we have available on this coach. It's so handy to be able just to come in here and sweep in the morning. As you can see, a really nice roomy shower. The teak bench will hold 250 pounds. Nice overhead rain shower, as well as a wand. And then one of the best things about this shower is going to be that if you're a big guy, or if you just have big hair. No, I'm just kidding. If you're a big guy though, this is a lot of shoulder room. Honestly, it's not that much larger than a radius shower, but the way that it's shaped, it's much more user friendly. And then this bench allows you to sit down and wash your feet, shave your legs. And then as we talked about earlier, new cabinetry. You've got a beautiful vessel sink that they integrated into this floor plan for 2024. The backsplash tiles are so cool. They're of course aluminum lined. You've got this beautiful, nice solid surface countertop, a ton of room in your medicine cabinet. We're gonna go through a lot of this pretty quick. You've got your wine guard system for your satellite or for your Wi-Fi. I would love to put Starlink on top of this for you in addition. If you do Starlink paired with a satellite-based Wi-Fi system paired with a cellular-based Wi-Fi system, you're really kind of bulletproof. I know I don't talk about it a lot. It's a porcelain toilet. I mean, it's nice. It's a nice material. It's hefty, right? And in 2023, they changed this out though. So my 22 does not have this, but they actually have little glowy lights so you can tell when you're filling and when you're dumping. We'll go over some quick drawer space. Jody's like, Katie, you got to hold them open a little bit longer than that. Great place for your TP, your black tank supplies, your cleaning supplies, toilet paper roll, all your hot water lines. And again, keep in mind, this is a 3-zone heated floor unit. So very, very comfortable. You could keep this bathroom nice and warm for the kiddos. And then you could keep that bedroom nice and cool. We love having these windows open. Of course, as you can see, I've got the MCD power shade just partially deployed so you can see that you can black those out. And for those of us who have kids, I've got a 16 and a 20-year-old. I actually got my 20-year-old son, he was 19 this winter, but he went camping with us in San Diego for almost the entire trip. And he had all of his crap down here, you know, his guitar, his duffel bag. He took the top bunk. But we could keep this door closed here as well as the one that's right next to where Jody's standing. And we could actually, he could sleep in. I could go get ready in the morning, just close the door behind me. And he was pretty comfortable, and that's saying a lot because he's pretty big on having his own independence now. So this doesn't just work for children, it also works for adults. Needless to say, he's not growing at 19 anymore. Like I said, I'm not going to spend a ton of time here, but there's a ton of storage up here if you decide that you want to keep some bedding in here because you do use that center area for storage most of the time, but you want to keep some extra pillows and the like. This coach has the safe. I'm gonna turn your light on there. And then one of my favorite features of this RV is actually not just the big storage, but this little storage here. So if you want more of a walkthrough on this a little bit longer, you're welcome to take a look at it. I have, like I said, this is the second video I've done of this RV, but I wanted to spend a little more time covering some different aspects of it. These are just great for underwear, socks, and the like. And then you can see here's your hydronic heating vent. So that is going to be the vent that's pushing that tube of hydraulic liquid is being heated by your Oasis burner system that's underneath the coach. We'll take a look at that in a few minutes. It's called a Chinook system. It's a dual loop Chinook system by Oasis. That's going to heat. You've got 150 gallons of fresh water on this coach. You've got a 60-gallon gray water tank and a 40-gallon black water tank. That Chinook system is an 8-gallon hydronic system that's got a tube. It's got two lines. It's got a 8-gallon reservoir that's got hydronic fluid in it, which is basically antifreeze. Goes underneath the coach and pushes air over that hydronically heated coolant, or I guess heatant. I don't know what you call it when it's not hot. When it's not cold, it's hot, right? So anyway, so that pushes that over that tube and comes out of these vents, and that's what's giving you hydronic heat. And of course, hydronic heat, you know, you've got these great, you know, two 15,000 BTU air conditioners on top with heat pumps, but they only work to about 38 degrees. So you'll see when you're in colder temperatures, even with your heat pumps on, there's no warm air coming into the coach. But when you have hydronic heat, you can go to much cooler temperatures. It's also giving you a thermostatically controlled bay that's going to give you a lot better resistance to having any kind of failures when you're out camping in the cold. Now, I did want to point that on either side of this bed, there's plenty of room for a CPAP machine. There's also 110 outlets and USB ports on either side. These are your two table leaf extensions. They are both 11 inches long, so 22 inches of extra room. There's that second chair we talked about earlier. Let's see. So you can see we've got controls up here. You've got some KIB switches here. You can also turn on and off your exterior lights. And there's some plug-ins up here. So if you wanted to put a CPAP machine in up top, or maybe just run some cords down for your iPad, you can do that. I've got the, over here, I've got the screen deployed. So just as the day screen, and then I've got the night screen deployed on the other side. All of the windows in here open. One of the things that we use a ton in this coach is right here. We love the fact that this is screened in, and then you could pop it up. There it goes, and leave that open so you can get that cross ventilation going in this coach when it's nice and hot outside. If you want to have that cool off at night, awesome, and that just locks right there in place. Again, of course, we'll talk about this over and over again, but you do have your MCD power, or not power shades, but manual shades. Another thing that we use a ton is our washer and dryer. I have given to putting my towels in the dryer after every shower and just running it for a few minutes. It's amazing. It keeps them from getting musty smelling. Oh, I don't know if I have that all the way out. So there's your drawer. I must have the slide partially out. Sorry. I don't normally open the slides after I start the video. Usually I do it, but though it's not that one. It's the one in the front, Jody. It's okay. It doesn't matter. All that being said, the washer and dryer is second to none. 6 drawers here for storage. These are deep drawers. They're great for keeping big stuff in, but again, those little drawers that you get when you buy the Bunk model are so nice. This overhead storage here is vastly useful. And then again, everything is pre-wired, so if you want to run, you know, a Blu-ray player or something into this television, you can. This is a smart TV. This coach has 1, 2, 3 televisions. You could have had the optional TVs in the bunks. I don't put them there because if you're using stuff for storage, they're kind of in the way. But you don't really need to have cable on this coach. If you want to just have Starlink paired with your Wi-Fi system, you can have those 2 different versions of Wi-Fi and have plenty of Netflix, Hulu, you know, Paramount, however it is that you watch television. I'm doing a London Air install right now for a DirecTV satellite system as well as Starlink. And they already have the Spruce system on their coach. So basically that is kind of like a bulletproof system. But if you're just used to having DirecTV or you're used to having Dish we can integrate all of those features into the coach and give you great connectivity so that you can watch anything that you'd want, whether it be Netflix or maybe, you watch Channel 6 at your local news headquarters or whatever it is. So very, very flexible as far as that goes. Now you'll note we do have carpeted floor here. One of the differences between this and the Supreme Air is that you have a little bit of carpet. This is the equivalent to the Ventana, but that's really about all of it. And honestly, I kind of like the carpeted floor when I'm getting ready in the morning. It's not a big deal. I don't have heated floors. That was a 2024 option. Now, last but not least, something that we use all the time outside is in the center galley, the removable cooktop. Now, of course, Newmar has these dual-sided stove covers that have the cutting board insulated or integrated into them. But we take this outside and make French toast and bacon and breakfast all the time. If we're having fish or if we're sauteing vegetables for the tops of our steaks, like some onions maybe, and we don't want to cook them inside the coach, it's just a great feature to be able to take it outside. The other thing I realized in boondocking is, okay, so we talked about that 60-gallon gray water tank. You have an aquamizer unit that's allowing you to recycle your water while you're trying to get it hot if you're boondocking, so it'll save some of that gray water. But what's crazy is you can actually do 3 loads of dishes in this one dishwasher versus doing 1 load of dishes hand washing. So this is actually a more water efficient way to go boondocking. You just take all your dishes and put them in here. At the end of the day, you do 1 load of dishes and it will be less or the same as if you were to do your dishes 3 times. On that note though, you are trying to conserve water because you are off grid. You do have a nice dual basin sink, soapy water on one side, rinse on the other. You've got a little pour feature, spray and pour so you can clean out around the edges. In terms of cabinet space, I keep all my dishes under my seats at the booth. I use more of this for like my coffee pots, my French press, my electric tea kettle, but there's a ton of room in this oven. You can make cookies. I've done it plenty of time. You can bake biscuits. You can microwave a burrito. You can make me a sandwich. This is where you keep all your board games, maybe. I don't know. This is the curtain for the front. Honestly, you guys, I meant to install that today before we started our video. I just forgot, so sorry. I use a heat shield product that rolls in place, so I don't use a curtain very often. But this has got so much room up here. Again, you could use this for bedding, or you could use it for board games, Monopoly, whatever you'd like. Cribbage, blah, blah, blah. I guess I don't have to move that chair out of the way because we're going to go outside now. Oh, wait, before we do, I should probably show. Look at that storage bay. Holy mackerel. This is where I keep a bin for my bread. I got mice once because I think they can smell the bread if you put it in the cubbies. And so I used to put it under my seats. I got mice. So now I keep it in a bin above there. I love my refrigerator. Look at all that room. This is the Prosecco shelf. This moves out of the way so you can put your little marker right there. All 3 bottles if you're having a girls' weekend. Oh, and then all of your cheese and meat plates. I gotta tell you, we do charcuterie when we do go out camping. I know it's terrible, but we love meat and cheese. A little salami, some cheddar, lots of storage here underneath. And then the water dispenser is filtered through a filter here, as well as the whole house water filter, which is outside and underneath. So let's go ahead and take our step cover out. You'll notice that next to this step cover button, there's a little button that has a lock and unlock. That is for all of your compartment doors. That's a really nice feature. If you push that little unlock button, all of your doors are unlocked. And if you push your lock button, they're all locked. Why is that good? Well, maybe you're heading out to go paddleboarding for the day, or I don't know, skydiving, whatever it is that you like to do when you're on vacation, and you want to make sure everything's locked up nice and tight. That's a great way to be able to do it all at once without having to really think about it. Okay, now it's time for the sunglasses. All right, so Avon has been kind enough to go ahead and open all of our doors. This right here is a flagpole bracket. There's your camera for turning left or right. As you can see here, all of your engine access is super easy with a Super C. This is your L9 Cummins engine married to your Freightliner chassis. You do have a spring leaf suspension, as you can see down here, really big and beefy, easy access to your fluids as well as filters. I would always take my coach in for service, never do it on my own. But as you can see, very easy access. Once again, anytime we can save with mechanics having to get to this stuff is going to save you time on your bill at the end of the interaction. So Freightliner does a really nice 3-piece bumper, as you can see here. So that's designed to save you money in case you have a little oopsie. And then we're just gonna pop this bad boy back up so we can take a look at some of the features here. This is one of your cameras for your 360. And then this is gonna be that radar-based cruise control that you have. That's your sensor there. And then you can see the cameras all built into that, that big black Detroit assurance system in the front. I have a really cool fog lamp package for this new M2 106 Plus chassis. I've already installed it. I also have already installed SantaCon onto a Superstar, so if that's something that you'd like to do, I can do both of those things for you. Big, beautiful, bright headlights, nice Alcoa rims. Of course, these Alcoa rims are going to give you better grip going down the road. These are 315s, not 305s, so big, wide tires. This construction of this aluminum rim with that high polish finish is not only attractive, but it's also going to give you less reverberation and be quieter going down the road. Your storage compartment here has a switch. I initially thought that you would turn that switch on for when you were going down the road. It turns out you turn that switch on for when you're parked, so you can still have air ride seats. I think when I first got my coach, no one knew the right answer. So I used it wrong for a long time. If you watch any of my old videos and I said the wrong thing, my apologies. We're always learning in life, right? As you can see, these bays are really nice. They're big, they're deep. Those are your attachments for your central vac. Also your airline that runs through a compartment where you would fuel up on the front driver's side. But all of these compartments are so big because we do use what's called the STAR Foundation. That stands for strong, true, and robust. You do have a 100-gallon fuel tank capacity, by the way. This coach has 2 tanks. The Supreme Air has a single tank. They are saddle tanks. They're right there. They do overflow into each other, but you'll probably want to fill up both of them simultaneously just to save time. Oh, we've got a question. Hi.
Does this coach come in a 45-foot option with bunk beds?
Oh, yes. Okay, so we have a question. The question is, does this coach come in a 45-foot option with bunk beds? Answer is unequivocally and absolutely yes. It's not called a Superstar. It's called a Supreme Air. I have 2 in inventory. I've done videos on both of them, and they are really, really nice coaches. One of the benefits of getting a Supreme Air that's 45 feet over the Superstar is it becomes a bath and a half unit. So you have a mid bath as well as a rear bath and the bunk bed. So if you do have littles, they've got their own place to potty at night, or if it's just you and your wife, you each have your own bathroom. But yes, it does come in the Supreme Air, and like I said, I've got 2 in stock. And if you text me or email me at the end of this video, I'll send you links to both of those coaches as well as the list prices for those. Okay, so if you've got any more questions, please, folks, feel free to tune in. I love it when people are actually watching and engaging with us online. And don't forget to like or subscribe our videos so that we get better presence in the marketplace so we can help more people learn about Superstars. But as I was saying, these bays are so big because of the STAR Foundation. So even though this is, so you've got to remember, there's a drive axle coming from the front of the engine to these rear wheels. It's lifted above that drive axle so you don't feel those bumps going down the road. And it also gives you about 9 inches more of height in these bays. So you can fit a ton of stuff underneath here. And then I wanted to show this. I'm not a big TV person, so I never take the TV out, but it does come out swivel and pivot. You can keep this down nice and low so that, I guess I already pushed it all the way up, but it normally stays down a little lower, so it'll shade the TV. The awnings went in automatically because of the wind. They are on a bounce sensor. But when you put this back away, you can see your Bose soundbar control can come off of the dash, as well as be integrated into your phone. You've got your fresh tank drain right here, and then you do have 2 USB ports and a 110 outlet out here. We use this all the time. So not for watching TV, but for listening to the soundbar and for charging my phone. This is like my #1 phone charging station. I'm a big fan of the lower television just because you're not bringing bar stools out when you're camping. You're sitting in those little short camping chairs, and this is a great place to be able to watch TV. So you can tell that this is a drive axle, of course, because it's got that innie instead of the outie, which means it doesn't turn. Again, this is a 295, but there's 4 tires back here, not 2, so a lot of grip. You can lock up this rear diff so that you've got all 4 of these driving together if you're in a sticky situation, because this coach is designed to haul. This has got a 20,000 pound towing capacity. This is the only stock slide tray that you can get. It's got a 1,000 pound weight rating, and as you can see, that's that rear lift that you have up and over that drive axle. You can see how it's brought the height of the coach up here. But what's interesting about this, I wonder if I can. There they go. Get my awnings out from inside here. What's interesting about this is that because it's lifted up here, we're going to have another storage compartment that I'm going to show you in just a minute. But I wanted to just show you. So on the Supreme Air, these will be power. On the Superstar, there's a little latch right there. You just put this in here, pull these down. You do have a Carefree awning package that if you don't have your big awnings deployed, you have these little awnings. These would be able to stay out in a much more gusty situation. Like I can already see the wind kind of catching these. And I don't know if you saw the beauty shot when we started, but I did have them deployed and they already had come in. That happens to us in Colorado a lot. So these Carefree awnings that you have both on the driver's side and passenger side in the front and outside of the bedroom are going to be very handy. And because they're latched into place and they're on this little mechanism that's anchored on either side of the window, they are definitely much more durable in a little bit more of a gusty situation. So we do have a downsizer for your hitch that comes standard. And we've got your attachment port for your exterior if you'd like to be able to vacuum your dog or your husband or your children. You can do that there. Let's see if I can get these to go back in. There's one. There we go. So it's nice to have awning control on the outside of your coach, just those 2 little white boxes. There's also a remote, but if you don't have your remote, I don't bring my remote outside of my RV, I'd lose it. It's nice to have that right there so that you can actually close those. So if there is an impending storm and it's getting gusty really fast, you're not having to run inside to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this bad boy right here. It's gonna open up this rear garage area. As you can see, I've got a nice dome light up here. I've got a great place for all of your top shelf, you know, your Patron, your Belvedere, all your good, you know, good whiskeys, Shanahan's, whatever it is. Then all of your mixers right here. Or you can do what my boyfriend, who never likes to drink, does. You could put like extension cords, tire shine, extra quarts of hydronic fluid, the boring stuff. But, you know, depends on whether it's guys' weekend or ladies' weekend and how this is outfitted. So as I mentioned earlier, look at all of that storage. Great place to keep your broom, your mop, your paddleboard paddles, your fishing pole, whatever it might be. Big old 20,000 pound towing capacity, pre-wired for your so it's a 7-pin connector. It does not have a trailer brake. If you need a trailer brake, let me know, because this does not come standard with a trailer brake. There's another manufacturer that we carry here at Transwest that does. So there's no worse time to figure out that you don't have a trailer brake than like the Saturday before you're leaving on your trip on Sunday. Not that that happened to me or anything, but yeah. I installed my own, by the way. So back here you can see, oh, look at this. This is kind of cool. This is your slide mechanism. And then just to the right of that, you've got your buddy plug. As you can see, this is a full wall slide. So this is the entire length of the coach. That's why this coach is so roomy on the inside. More room underneath over here. I mean, this holds all of our paddle boards, including life jackets. And we've got 3 of them that we take with us. So lots and lots of storage on this coach. Again, that star foundation just giving you all that extra room. And then here, this little compartment is actually exceedingly useful. As you can see, this is a great place to keep some gloves. If you are using DEF fluid, it's pretty nasty stuff, or filling with diesel, that's great. You also have a gray tank open and black tank open valve right here on the side, as well as your fresh tank water fill, your whole house water filter, your his and hers hot and cold shower, and then you can see here your black tank and gray tank attachment goes out underneath this port. Please keep in mind, I can do a lot of things to custom order this coach, but I can add SantaCon. I can't add it at the factory. I can add it here. I can prep it though so that it's ready to go from the factory. And then if you take a look at this exterior paint, this is a really cool thing that we've done on this coach. We actually just did white twice. So we made the skin white, and then we made another paint line white, giving it a lot less busyness. So this is a much more kind of aerodynamic, I think more sleek look. Again, this is a custom paint color. I love the way it turned out. Down here we've got our 8,000 watt quiet diesel generator. I can start that from the inside. Oh, I didn't show the center control panel. That's okay. I can start it from the inside, I can start it from the dash, I can start it from the outside, I can stop it from the outside, make it quieter. I have got underneath here 8 lead acid batteries, 800 amp hours of battery charge. If you're boondocking and you need lithium, let's talk. Let me make sure that it's accurate. A lot of people are like, oh my God, I have to have lithium. And my first question is why? How are you camping? Because if you're pole to pole, you really don't need it. If you're trackside, you got horses, let me know, I can help you. We can even get a Victron system in here and get you air conditioner. So you've got a dedicated air conditioner module. But understand that there's a lot of different ways to have power in this coach. And for us with boondocking, this paired with our 3 solar panels on top, we were able to be out for, I did 3 weeks, I did a whole week of boondocking, very comfortable. My biggest challenge was I was out of gray water. One of the things that's cool about getting a SantaCon system is you could actually put a hose to a gray water line and dump your gray water into like a local drain. Of course, because it's gray, it's not black, so you're not polluting the universe or anything. But you could do that and stay out a little bit longer, because with 150 gallons of fresh water, you could fill up that gray water tank twice. Okay, hydraulic leveling jacks and that step that's out front of that coach that comes all the way down, that is so nice, is powered by HWH. We talked briefly about the Oasis dual loop heating system. Again, that's that 8-gallon reservoir that's giving you hydronic heat as well as all of your tankless fresh water. There is no furnace or water tank on board here. Everything is going to be tankless hot water heat. You've got a 50-foot long power cord on a power reel. Your inverter and your surge protector, which is optional, are both in this compartment. And then, as we talked about earlier, you're already wired for that walkie-talkie. We talked a little bit about these pull-down Carefree awnings that we have here. This is where your airline is, as well as your other 100-gallon fueling station. And then here, as you can see, lots of handles, lots of access points getting into this coach. Safety features like the little reflector on the side so that no one comes running into you. I mean, this coach is really, really nicely upfitted for anybody who's got any kind of mobility issues. This is a great coach to be able to get in and out of, because it's really easy to pull yourself up into the coach with. The other thing I think is interesting is I had a client that bought this coach because she has big dogs. So in the Class A's, her dog would run by that front seat all the time, and they only had that one portal. What was so nice for them is that they had these 2 entrances for the people, and then they had the mid-door entrance for the puppy, which I thought was kind of an interesting feature. All this beautiful chrome work that you see around the lights is just standard by Newmar. If you want blacked out rims, I can make that happen. Amish racing wheels are very inexpensive. I'd love to do that for you. Let me know if it's something that you'd like. This unit is available. It's 5N231088. Again, this is a 2024 Newmar on the M2 106 Plus chassis. My name's Katie O'Neill. You can always find me online at RVs Inside Out on YouTube or at TTTRV. Like I said, we do 5 RV videos a week, and they are fantastic. If I'm not your style, we've got a lot of other sales folks that are really talented at this organization. Please feel free to tune in and let us know how we can get you out on the road and camping. Thanks so much.